Hello there. My name is Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are going to talk about my favorite scary stories. So I have 6 books to talk to you about today, and one of them I do not have physically. We'll start with this one. It's Tender as the Flesh. I originally read this one on audiobook because I was trying to figure out if it was worth it to buy the physical, right? Well, after I read it, it was so traumatizing. I gave it a 5-star. I have no words. It was amazing. Horrifying. It continues to haunt me. There are some days it's a struggle. I went to my bookstore to go and buy it. I saw it on the shelf. I was like, wow, okay, I think I'll pick it up. And I started to get nauseous. So, we do not own Tender as the Flesh. It's that traumatizing. It's scary. I hate it. Tender as the Flesh follows our main character, whose name escapes me, but he is a meat processor. He works for a meat processing plant in an era where disease has made it impossible for humans to consume animals for meat, and plant protein has been proven to not be a good resource for protein. The society basically started eating itself, and in order to regulate said atrocities, the government decided to set certain humans aside for eating. We're at a point in time of this where they have developed the ability to clone humans into adulthood, so they're just adults, so that they've never been human. They make it to where they can't speak. It's awful. And we are following a gentleman who works at a processing plant, whose sister is a bougie bitch, and whose wife and him, they just had a loss of their baby. She miscarried, and so they're living separately. So it's all of this with that background, and it's just so much. It was so much. And the ending, I can't even. It was crazy. I recommend that for people who like gross horror with some aspect of social commentary. That's for you guys out there. Next, I would recommend Hide by Kiersten White to those of you who like monster horror, a little bit of a game aspect, and social commentary. Do all of these books have a social commentary? A good couple of these books have social commentary mixed in with their horror. So this is for you guys here. We are following a character. Her name is Mackenzie, that's me. She is homeless, and she hears about a competition where they have to basically play a game of hide and seek in an unknown location. And if they win, they get a sum of money. And because Mac is homeless, she really needs to do this. And it's just so coincidental that that's the game that they want them to play, because Mac's dad, when she was a child, kind of went berserk and killed his whole family, and she hid and was able to survive that. So that's this book. I really enjoyed this book, and I think that because I already like that kind of fun monster type horror, I was already expecting what was kind of happening, and I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed kind of the explanation of why everything was happening and what was going on, and the characters were pretty well developed for there being quite a long list of characters. So I did really enjoy this one as well. Obviously, I enjoyed all of these because I'm recommending them to you guys. The next book I wanted to talk about is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Iain Reid. This one is psychological, cryptic, and you're kind of left to put everything together yourself. Not a lot is explained. You're just given a bunch of puzzle pieces about what might be happening, and it was so good. It was so good. We're following a couple of different perspectives, but the main perspective that we're following that doesn't really give too much away is a woman who is going on a road trip with her boyfriend. And it's a bunch of small scenes of them in the road trip, of the boyfriend remembering things about how they met, about her remembering things. It's so strange because once you understand what's happening, then you can read it back and it makes much more sense. But as you're reading it, you're confused. You're confused the whole time. This is for people for psychological thrillers. I don't know how thrilling it is, actually. It's a little bit slow. The movie and the book are very great. I loved them both. I think they're both wonderful. Next, I had to throw in a Silvia Moreno-Garcia into the mix, Mexican Gothic. This one was pretty crazy. So this is historical. It is science fiction-y. It's icky and gross and has a bit of social commentary in here. It reminds me a little bit of Get Out in the sense that our main character is trapped in this house due to social conventions and how you're supposed to act because of history. And so like she really can't just run away from what's happening, even though what's happening is horrifying. While Silvia Moreno-Garcia doesn't really write in the same genre all the time. Like, I want to say that this is her only real, like, horror type book. She always sets it in Mexico in about the 70s or 80s, and it's just so lavish and really utilizes the time and the place to its advantage. And it really allows the story to feel fully fleshed out. So I really enjoyed this. We are following Noemi, who goes to her cousin's house at her request because her cousin says that she's in danger. Noemi and her cousin are of the country, they are Mexican, and the man that her cousin is married to is a white man, and he lives there with obviously the cousin, his father, his cousin, and there's like an aunt or maid situation that's also happening there. So there's a lot of white people over there, and Noemi goes there to help her cousin, and when she gets there, she realizes her cousin's a little bit sick, not in any immediate danger, but she is obligated to stay because of social convention. So now she's kind of like trapped, and it's great. Icky and great. I also wanted to throw in a Ruth Ware, In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I felt was really great. This one does the trope that I hate in such a way that I love what's happening. So I hate when the trope is woman or person, but it's always typically a woman, goes back to family, town, small town, family house, somewhere where she doesn't feel welcome for not really a good reason at all. Then things are creepy and weird and feel dangerous and they still don't leave. But I felt like this was done so well. So in this one, we have our main character who is invited to a bachelorette party from someone who used to be her best friend, but they haven't spoken in like years. So she goes to the bachelorette party. She already also knew that this friend of hers is engaged to the boyfriend that our main character had in high school, and they loved each other and they were going to get married and they were just obsessed, and they broke up for some, strange reason that our main character can't exactly explain because it was just so awful and horrible. So she goes to the bachelorette party and she's like, why am I here? And that's the whole reason she goes, is to find out why she was invited, which is such a strange reason to go. It's flimsy. But while she's there, the tension, the atmosphere, the other characters who are there, it's not just the bride-to-be, it's also their other friends from high school and someone new, and who all these people are now versus who they were in high school and what they all know. And now she's just here and it's creepy and they're in the woods and the house is scary because it has windows and glass and it feels like they're on screen. It's great. The atmosphere is huge in this one. So if you don't mind all of those tropes and atmosphere is what you crave in a story, this is the one I'm recommending for you. And then finally we have Spirits Abroad by Zen Cho. So this one specifically is a short story collection all written by Zen Cho. As a collection, I do recommend it. It is a great collection. But for my favorite scary stories, I only am recommending a few because only a few of them actually give me the heebie-jeebies, okay? I am recommending The Fishbowl. Heebie-jeebies, okay? I don't know if this is based off of a myth. It feels like it because a lot of these stories, if not all of them, are. And it's horrifying. It is about a girl who is trying to be successful and comes across a fish that she can ask for wishes, but it comes at a price. And it horrified me. And I will also recommend Liana from this one. That one is a very strange kind of scary story. It's like a subtle horror, and also I don't know exactly like how horrific. It's just so unnerving. I'm just uncomfortable with this idea. It just makes me icky. It feels, I don't know. More than sad, I felt unnerved, which is why it is included in this list. So those are all of the scary stories that I wanted to talk to you about today, being my current favorite set of scary stories. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite scary stories are, and let me know if you would recommend any movies as well. We can talk all about that in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!